Olivia Newton-John totally shocked Johnny Carson and his audience when she did something completely unexpected on The Tonight Show. In this video, we'll unpack that surprising moment and explore how it changed the dynamic of the show. Trust me, you won't want to miss the details that reveal just how bold Olivia was and how this unforgettable performance affected her career. Stay with us to relive the magic. Olivia Newton-John's rise to stardom. When we consider Olivia Newton-John, it is impossible to ignore her lovely voice or image of her brilliant grin. She was only a little child with great goals, a lot of ability, and a little bit of luck before she became the adored emblem we all know, though. Olivia's ascent to celebrity was almost magical, and her path there began with very modest but remarkable beginnings. All started in the late 1960s when Olivia started to explore the realm of music. She was born in England and reared in Australia. She had that special combination of beauty and ability that set her apart right away. Her first taste of success came from recording If Not For You, a Bob Dylan tune she turned entirely her own. This song elevated her into the limelight and landed on the US and UK charts, therefore beyond mere mapping. Olivia still had to work, though. She then recorded Let Me Be There, a country pop crossover that won her a Grammy Award for Best Female Country Vocal Performance. That's right, Grammy. Olivia suddenly was a growing star and a force to be reckoned with in the music business. She was only getting started as well. You cannot now discuss Olivia without bringing up Grease. She became an overnight star internationally in 1978 when she portrayed Sandy Olsen in the venerable movie. Imagine someone else changing from the sweet, naive Sandy to the rebellious, leather-clad Sandy we all fell in love with. Neither can we. One of those songs still getting people moving today is her duet with John Travolta on You're the One That I Want. Comprising a mega single that topped charts all around, the soundtrack itself was Olivia Newton-John was a worldwide phenomenon who firmly established her position in pop cultural history after Grease. Not only a music diva, her amazing ability to fluidly move across musical genres, from pop to country to rock, made her even more appealing to admirers. She was a cultural icon, not only a singer or actor. Her influence extended much beyond the music business. Audiences were enthralled not only by Olivia's acting or song ability, especially on chat shows. Her natural appeal and friendliness made her a TV favorite. When she regularly visited shows like The Tonight Show, she possessed a unique type of magic. Her real grin and laid-back demeanor made her a star someone at home could relate to. Legendary The Tonight Show host Johnny Carson was adept at highlighting the finest in his guests, but with Olivia the bond was obvious. Viewers could see the mutual respect and playful banter between the two every time she sat in that well-known chair across from him. She left viewers yearning more by knowing how to keep the conversation light but interesting. Olivia was a beloved person not only in Hollywood, but also all around for her natural grace and evident brilliance. She would also go on to provide one remarkable moment after another as she kept climbing, including the one that stunned Johnny Carson personally. We will, however, come to that later. Olivia Newton-John was obviously destined for brilliance from the beginning, and her path to stardom was only just starting. The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. Johnny Carson was a television icon, not only a talk show host. Over 30 years, The Tonight Show he anchored turned into a cultural institution. When Johnny took over the show in 1962, he turned late-night TV into a stage where singers, comedians, and stars may shine. His impact was so strong that simply showing on his program might propel someone into fame or confirm their role in popular culture. Carson had a wonderful capacity to make his visitors feel at ease while yet maintaining the vibrant, funny, and occasionally erratic interviews. The program was where significant events in entertainment took place, not only interviews. From comic Rodney Dangerfield delivering his iconic "No Respect" lines to the amazing evening when a young stand-up comedian named David Letterman debuted, The Tonight Show served as a launching pad for careers. Still, it also had some amazing events. Who could forget the moment when actor Burt Reynolds engaged Johnny in a light-hearted pie battle right on stage, or when singer Tiny Tim married Miss Vicky live on the program? Expectations were thus great when Olivia Newton-John was scheduled to perform. By then, fresh off the big song Triumph from Greece, she was already a worldwide sensation. Audiences knew she would be charming Carson and would provide a wonderful interview. However, little did they realize that something even more unforgettable was about to happen. The shocking moment. That was one of those evenings when the studio was vibrantly alive. Olivia Newton-John was going to go across those famous curtains, so the crowd knew they were in for something unique. As the band performed a vibrant song, you could sense the buzz in the air. Then, ever the cool and collected host, Johnny Carson welcomed his next visitor with a smile. Olivia emerged looking as brilliant as ever, and the audience burst in cheers. She sat down next to Johnny, and there was this playful, comfortable energy between us. Carson was naturally laid back, and his interviews often felt more like chats among old friends than anything else. With Olivia, it was no different. She was witty, friendly, and energetic. Expecting the typical banter and chuckles, the audience was smiling. But the next development surprised nobody. The interviews of Johnny Carson were well known for their laid-back and unforced nature. He was not hesitant to deviate from the script if the situation demanded it. He had this way of making his visitors comfortable. Starting light and pleasant, the chat with Olivia covered her latest music, her part in Greece, and even some light-hearted comments on her accent and life in Australia. The discussion suddenly veered unexpectedly, though. In his typical understated manner, Johnny asked Olivia a question, maybe not expecting much more than her natural appeal in answer. Rather, Olivia accomplished something none in the studio, least of all Carson, saw approaching. What just precisely did Olivia Newton-John do to leave Johnny Carson so stunned? It was not an extravagant performance or some wild confession. Actually, it was something quite basic but utterly surprising. Olivia, with her gentle and understated manner, delivered a bold, cheeky joke that really surprised Johnny. As he considered what had just transpired, you could see his eyes expand and his typical cool facade slinking for only a brief moment. It was a joke suggesting something a little more provocative than Olivia's audience was accustomed to. Her image at the time was neat and orderly, hence this light-hearted jibe completely went against everyone's expectations. Johnny was momentarily silent, and for someone like Carson, that was saying a lot. But he recovered fast, laughing with the audience who first gasped, then burst into spasms of laughter. The camera even saw Johnny trying to keep his cool, wiping his eyes. The response of the crowd was invaluable. There was first a shocked stillness, the sort in which everyone is thinking, "Did she really just say that?" But the whole studio laughed, clapping and cheering for Olivia as soon as it hit in. It was a flash of unvarnished television gold. It was so surprising, it revealed a side of Olivia Newton-John never had seen before, that people liked it. She was not only the charming girl-next-door pop singer, fans liked her quick wit and humorous edge. Regarding Johnny Carson, well, he knew he had just seen one of those rare, unique events worthy of discussion long after the cameras stopped running. Everyone had a really clear sense of what they were in for when Olivia Newton-John showed up on The Tonight Show, or so they believed. Olivia was well known for her pleasant manner, soothing voice, and reputation as a healthy pop singer. Her grace, real warmth, and modesty won her fans over, so the thought of her doing something scandalous never ever crossed their minds. People tuned in anticipating light discussion, a few laughs, and a polished Olivia performance, many times before. Actually, though, the reverse was true. Everyone, especially Johnny Carson, was shocked when Olivia made her surprising, light-hearted comment. She had shown that there was much more to her than first appeared by demolishing the notion of the calm, understated pop diva in the most ridiculous manner. The moment was startling not only for what she said, but also for none of anybody else anticipated her to be the one saying it. Olivia was noted at the time for her immaculate image. She was the girl next door, the kind of star capable of captivating your granny and your adolescent brother simultaneously. Her performance in Grease as Sandy Olsen confirmed that image, Even if she had that remarkable metamorphosis at the conclusion of the film, she was still mostly seen as the sweet, sensible girl singing "Hopelessly Devoted to You" in that heartbreaking ballad. She therefore seemed so out of character when she made a cheeky remark on live TV, which first confused many people. Olivia, they knew, was different from this. That's what, though, made the event so remarkable. She was not only following social conventions. Olivia was demonstrating a playful, clever side that viewers had never really seen before, therefore demonstrating that she was more than just her charming image suggested. One must take into account the cultural setting of the time to truly grasp why this incident had such influence. Particularly for prominent discussion shows like The Tonight Show, television remained somewhat conservative in the late 1970s and early 1980s. Polite, polished interviews were seen by audiences where celebs stayed on script and everyone followed guidelines. The kind of off-the-cuff, sometimes provocative comedy Olivia suddenly produced was not really fitting. This was therefore a very important moment, since it was a rare occasion when a celebrity deviated from the well-chosen public image that viewers and the media expected. Olivia's audacity went against television appearances in a time when performers were more cautious about their personalities. Of course, she performed with grace and comedy, but it was enough to astound the studio audience and, more significantly, Johnny Carson himself. Johnny Carson's reaction. Over his run on The Tonight Show, Johnny Carson has seen almost everything. No matter what his visitors threw at him, he was well known for his calm, understated manner. Even Carson, though, was not ready for what Olivia had planned. Her unexpected comment set his response to be pure gold. He was initially obviously surprised. His typical calm faltered, and you could see astonishment flicker across his features. Of course, he recovered fast, his signature laugh and a glitter in his eye. But Olivia clearly had taken him totally off guard. Moments like this, unscripted, impromptu, and unforgettable, were beloved by Carson. Though somewhat startled that someone like Olivia Newton-John, of all people, had delivered the shock of the evening, you could see he was actually delighted. The media was having a field day at this point. Newspapers, magazines, and TV sources couldn't stop discussing Olivia Newton-John's unexpected look on The Tonight Show following the show's airing. Excitement permeated headlines chronicling the surprising turnabout with lines like, "Olivia Newton-John shocks Johnny Carson," and "Olivia's cheeky side revealed." Everybody seemed to be talking about the following day at that point. For Olivia, this turned from a late-night interview into a headline-making event. The notion that someone so polished and lovely could have such a sharp, fun sense of humor captivated people. The media coverage concentrated on the discrepancy between her public persona and the boldness of her on-air moment, therefore enhancing the memorable aspect of the occurrence. Though it wasn't scandalous by any means, it was sufficient to get folks sitting up and noticing. Olivia Newton-John thought back on the evening in later interviews using her customary elegance and modesty. She said she was just being herself and had not meant to startle anyone. The comment in her mind lacked the audacity and boldness of the response it seemed to generate. She did, however, admit that it revealed a side of her viewers were not familiar with. Olivia was never one to stir debate, hence, she found it somewhat odd that this incident became such a hot issue. Later on, she even joked about it, noting that it was good to surprise somebody every now and then. She obviously had fun with the event and didn't mind straying from the box, even if only momentarily. For Olivia, it was an opportunity to present the world that she wasn't simply the sweet, subdued pop diva everyone believed she was. She had layers, and she wasn't shy to display them. Regarding Johnny Carson, he was more than delighted to reprise that momentous event on next The Tonight Show episodes. "Love those unplanned moments of real astonishment," Carson would often remark on Olivia's look with a grin. Later episodes included him even teasing other guests, asking, "Remember when Olivia Newton-John shocked us all?" It evolved into a sort of inside joke between Carson and his viewers, a reminder that you never truly know what might happen when the cameras start running. Though Carson might have been momentarily taken aback that evening, he valued Olivia's comedy and wit, and welcomed her back to the program with wide arms going forward. That evening became one of those iconic television events that people would discuss for years to come for Carson and Olivia as well. Just the kind of moment that made The Tonight Show a must-see event. The ideal mix of charm, surprise, and a little of mischief. Olivia Newton-John was already a household celebrity before her remarkable Tonight Show performance, not surprisingly. Hits like Physical and her performance as Sandy in Grease helped her to establish her reputation as a pop cultural icon. But this encounter with Johnny Carson gave her something more, a fresh layer of visibility. People were chatting about her for more than just her movies and songs suddenly. She had demonstrated to the world her capacity for humor, spontaneity, and fearlessness in challenging norms. This look affected Olivia's impression, as well as her position in Hollywood. Stars that can surprise people have always been loved in the entertainment business, and Olivia had done exactly that. She was someone with complexity, humor, and a little bit of edge, not only the healthy singer and actress. This event probably let directors, producers, and other business insiders see her talents from a different angle. After this, Olivia's reputation as a flexible performer just expanded. Hollywood may typecast quickly, but this scene demonstrated Olivia's inability to fit inside one box. She could capture, surprise, and involve an audience whether she was performing, acting, or charming them on a talk show. In many respects, this guaranteed her longevity in a field always searching for the next big thing. Once Olivia returned to the talk show circuit, things changed for her following her performance. Hosts were aware Olivia was more than qualified to present a moment that might take front stage. Her interviews became more lively, as hosts sought for another remarkable moment by trying to highlight more of her humorous, erratic side. Olivia never lost her earthy appeal, but her looks started to stack. Knowing there was always the likelihood she may surprise them once more, audiences watched. Her interactions with hosts grew somewhat more lighthearted, and interviews had a livelier vibe. Olivia obviously could be both the sweet star everyone knew and someone who wasn't scared to slightly push the envelope. This moment became part of Olivia Newton-John's greater legacy, not only lived in the imaginations of those who saw it live. This Tonight Show event would always surface whenever people discussed her most memorable TV performances. It became into a fascinating fact people loved to share. You know, Olivia Newton-John once startled Johnny Carson on live television? Media and fans both kept referring to the episode, particularly considering Olivia's long career. One of those times when she displayed her range, not only as a performer but also as a person. It gave her legacy, liveliness, and excitement to counter her polished, healthy appearance. One may readily relate Olivia's unexpected event to other great events in the annals of talk show history. Shockingly, events have always generated news, whether it was Madonna's provocative remarks on Late Show with David Letterman or Tom Cruise jumping on Oprah's sofa. Olivia's incident, however, stood out for other reasons. It was surprising, but not sensational. It felt real, instinctual, and absolutely unplanned. Though with a different appeal, her encounter with Johnny Carson in a sense matches these previous shocks. It served as a reminder that when the cameras were running, even the most apparently consistent stars may provide the surprise. Many still discuss this event decades later. The reason is Olivia displaying a side of herself people had never seen before mattered more than the shock factor. It became her more human and approachable. And for someone who had been so meticulously labeled as pleasant and healthy, this turnabout was novel. People loved it, and it broke the rules. Fans of both Olivia and Johnny Carson hang on to this memory since it was a unique live television magic moment. It was one of those ideal times when everything came together: the correct celebrity, the correct host, and the correct unanticipated comment. Still discussed, still remembered, and still loved all these years later, this kind of moment stays with people and gets passed down through pop cultural history. And that unforgettable moment on The Tonight Show left Johnny Carson speechless, and fans couldn't stop talking about it. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more surprising moments from your favorite stars.